Hello?
Hi.
Sorry, can you see me at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is that better?
I can see an outline, so
Okay, that's good enough. Oh, morning.
morning.
Okay. Do you care if I can get like 15 minutes to just like finalize this stuff? It won't take long, but I figured I can just use like this hour to finish up before I give my uh before I read it to you. Would
Yeah,
that
that's
be
fine.
okay?
That's fine.
I'm saying then the hour will go shorter anyway. So
Okay.
okay, I'll just be like 15. We can still record it and stuff, but
All right.
all right.
Just say something when you're done.
Yeah, I will. Thanks. I I'm about to send it to you.
Okay. And do you have a PowerPoint yet or no?
No, but I have a slide. I still need to make that, but I have like some slides on here, just
Okay.
on like this sheet. I'll just um, here we go. Okay. Okay. I just sent it.
Okay, I got it.
Got it. Okay. It's pretty rough right now, so I'll just I'll just go whenever you're ready.
Yeah, you can go whenever.
Okay. Okay. So, oh, you don't actually have to do work? Did you just get someone to do your homework for you? I bet you get everything handed to you since you're an athlete. If you didn't know, these are all common stereotypical phrases that college athletes have probably heard before in their life. As a college athlete myself, I've heard this before, and I can tell you one thing, it's not true. The life of a student athlete may look glamorous from the outside for some, but I and many others can tell you, although it has its perks, there are some disadvantages when it comes to schoolwork and life at college in general. When it comes to overall school toughness, I'm here to tell you how all college student athletes stereotypes aren't true, and how college student athletes actually can have it even harder as sometimes than common students do, despite these stereotypes. Um, as college students, we can all relate to the grueling schedule we all have now already. Throw in everyone's own personal problems, jobs, etc. School life can be tough on someone, for sure. I'm not saying school life is easy for the common student, not at all. But the schedule that the average college student athlete goes through, it's actually pretty insane. Added on to all these things I've already listed above, for an example, who here can relate to waking up at 4 a.m., going to lift and condition, then going straight to rehab / training, then after that going to class, followed by a 4 hour practice, only good to go to a team meeting or film session shortly after that. And when you finally think it's time to go home, you have to go to study tables for however long after that. Then you can finally go back home. I didn't mention you also have to fit meals in there and pray for some free time or leisure time at some point as well. I even know people that have to work after all this. For inference, here's a slide that shows a Division I football athlete's schedule. This is an average day in the life of a college athlete, and as a baseball player myself, I can relate to this schedule almost exactly. Another thing college student athletes have real trouble with is mental health. About 30% of the 195,000 respondents to a recent American College Health Association survey reported having felt depressed in the last 12 months, and 50% reported having felt overwhelmingly anxiety during the same period. Then after that is when I would talk about common student health and just kind of compare them. As we all know, mental health here is a major problem for college students nowadays. And although every person suffers differently from this, it is a very prevalent problem in college. It is a very prevalent problem in the college student athlete population, but it gets overlooked commonly because we're expected to just play through it. Now for some schooling in general, people commonly mistake the student athlete for not actually having to do their own work. But from my personal experience and from others I know, this is the number one thing that is not allowed. And if you get caught doing this type of thing, you're done. So I've never experienced anyone having someone to do their work for them. The NCAA has actually cracked down on this in the recent years very hardly. So even if someone tried it, their luck would run short. Regarding class time, as athletes, you're going to miss some class, and some professors don't take very fond of this when you have to miss some of their classes to go play a sport. Not all professors think this way, and I've never experienced it, but I've heard from many others how the professors have made a class a living hell for them for missing days they have no control over. As a common student, this is just something that, for the most part, you don't have to deal with. And then that's kind of where I end. I have to, obviously, I have to put in a lot more stuff, but for the most part, that's what I've gotten so far. So a lot of work to do for sure, but
Okay, so for general feedback, significant area of improvement, you're at 4.5 minutes.
yeah.
Um, so a lot of things definitely need beefed up.
hmm
But also you use a lot of repetitive language just in general. So like within the same paragraph, you said finally like 4 times.
Yeah.
Um, so it gets a little repetitive, especially when you're constantly saying the average college student athlete.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
much there. I would
hmm
try to find different ways to say it, just so it's not like super repetitive,
Yeah,
because I think that that can lose some people for
for
sure.
sure. Yeah. No.
And then referring to the average college student as a common student feels a little off. Just
hmm
like the use of the word common, I would just say average.
Okay.
Because common makes it seem like athletes are at a better place.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, so it's just
Definitely.
word choice there seems a little off, but like the points about average students versus athletic students is fine. It's
Mm.
just saying common student makes it sound like you
Yeah,
guys
that's
wouldn't understand, you're just basic. And it's,
yes. Yeah, that's I need to change that.
but as for what you do have, I think when it's beefed out, it's going to be very persuasive because, especially in your second paragraph where you talk about the schedule of an athlete, that's ridiculous. Like the amount of stuff that has to get done, it's ridiculous. So I think talking from your experience and then bolstering it with the different proofs that you have, specifically like
Mhm.
you have the ACHA already, and then you want to insert something about mental health. Um, I think that that's going to make it a persuasive speech, which ultimately that's what this is supposed to be. So I think that you have the good bones for it here.
Mm. Yeah, definitely needs some beefing up. That's for sure.
Absolutely, since you're at 4.5 minutes and you have
Yeah.
10 to work with. So,
Yeah.
but I think it will be persuasive, because I think that you have good groundwork for it to be persuasive. So like I don't have to tell you, "Oh, I think your message is a little messy." I think it's a good message and I think you portray it well. You just need more of it.
Yeah, and like you said, I also don't want to come off like I'm like trying. This isn't trying to like act like I'm like better or anything either. I think
Yeah,
that I need to definitely try. I don't want to give off that vibe.
Yeah, I think
But
correcting common to just average is going to fix
yeah,
a lot of that too.
yeah,
Um, so we'll do some line by line.
yeah. That whole last like part definitely was weaker. I need to like
Yeah,
fix that. Put more like some more like actual
all those
stats or
paragraphs are
something.
really short. They can be
Yeah.
a lot longer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I believe in you being able to make them a lot longer.
Yeah. I want to
But
get a
like,
good grade.
if we're gonna start with some line by line, I would look just at the first paragraph already.
Hmm.
Uh, I think when you're saying it, I would try to sound a little more emotionally connected to it. I don't know how to say that, but like you have some impactful quotes at the start, like, "Oh, you don't actually have to do work. Did you just get someone to do your homework for you? I bet you get everything handed to you since you're an athlete." You just kind of say those like you're the one asking them. Um,
Yeah.
I would try to tie a little bit more emotionally into that because like that is something that would be exhausting to hear. And you just kind of like saying them like they're just another sentence makes them
Hmm.
seem like they don't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Should I reread that stuff? Is that what this
If you
section
want
is?
to, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you don't actually have to do work. Did you just get someone to do homework for you? I bet you get everything handed to you since you're an athlete. If you didn't know, these are all common stereotypical phrases that college athletes have probably heard before in their life.
Yeah.
I yeah, I definitely I
First
know what
one.
you mean.
I know
Yeah,
the first one you definitely distinguished a lot. That one sounded a lot more like you had
yeah,
animosity there. Uh,
hmm,
so it's just a matter of practicing so that people know you have a distaste for these.
yes,
And you're not just kind of like saying them at the start of your speech.
hmm,
Um, then the next paragraph is just, I think, some wording issues. So, like the common student, the long college student
yeah,
athlete. I think there's just wording issues in there, not delivery specific issues. So that one's okay. And then when you get into your stats, you cite them well. Um, so those work. I don't think I need to have you redo any of those. But I would in like the class time bit about like not all professors think this way, and I've never experienced it. Um, I just think that that needs a lot of beefing because I think
mm,
one thing that I, as a non-athlete, don't really see um, in my experience of college is how you would go about missing class. Because I know, like, for the debate team, we have travel, and so I have to get field trip forms every time I leave. And if I don't have it within a certain amount of time, professors get angry.
yeah,
Um, so for athletes to miss as much as they do, as someone who like misses class, I don't understand that. But I'm sure that there are other students in there that don't even go through field trip forms. They just go to class when they go to class and they don't when they don't want to.
mm,
So I think that that's an area that I would try to clarify a little bit because from the perception of non-athletic students, it's just kind of like, oh, you guys get to miss class. You can say it's for training and it's fine.
mm,
Um, but I would beef that out
yeah,
specifically so that people understand like you're not just missing class because you're an athlete, you're missing class for this, you're missing class for travel, you're missing class for meeting with people about scouting. Like there's multiple different things. Because you
yeah,
say it's you have no control over it. Um, so I think a lot more of that process is going to clarify a lot of what athletes go through.
yeah. Actually, give the reasons why. Yeah, I agree.
That's just some line by line. And then modeling, I kind of tied that into the line by line. Dang it. But yeah, no, if we want to look at modeling, like saying it like this, I would say for the schooling in general, um, when you say like the NCAA has actually cracked down on this in the recent years very hard. So if someone tried it, their luck would run short. I would definitely try to say that more as a citation rather than
Hmm.
just a sentence.
Yeah.
So rather than saying the NCAA has cracked down on this, tell us how. Tell us,
Yeah.
like, in this instance, the NCAA did this. In this instance, the NCAA did this. Because just kind of saying, so if someone tried it, their luck would run short. I don't know what that means. That could mean, like, oh, you're benched next game. Or it could mean you don't get to play for the rest of your career. Um, so I would try to say that in more of a citation way
Yeah.
rather than just throwing it away because there could be a lot there,
Hmm.
and I think that that's also going to give credibility to your argument.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the encouraging bit, you do have plenty of time to work on this because you don't have to give it until Friday. So
Yes. I'm counting.
that's
That's huge.
fine. Uh, I would say specifically, like, it's all about practice. And so as long as you have time within
Hmm.
your schedule to beef out the sections and continue to practice, then you're going to have a compelling TED talk that will probably inform some students because I don't think anyone else in that class is a student athlete. So it'll be something that'll really inform people and
Hmm.
provide a groundwork for them to understand something that they maybe didn't before. So I think as long as you have the time for that practice, that's going to really help out.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I gotta definitely practice and fill in a lot of those gaps I had.
And then for developing a plan, I would recommend first starting by going through any paragraph you have that doesn't have any kind of, not just citation, but like any kind of like proof behind it.
Yeah.
Like when you just say like, "Oh, I've seen this." Tell us when. Show us how. Um, so constantly providing proofs will help beef that out. So when you
Yeah.
go back through, just look through paragraphs that seem short or just seem like you're just saying things and try to fix those ones.
Hmm.
And then after that, it's just going to be running the presentation out loud
Yeah.
until it flows naturally. Like we talked about in like the line by line, like anything in there or like the modeling. Obviously
Yeah.
work on that, but I think specifically for the plan, look at anything that can have an example and give it an example. It doesn't have to be from the NCAA, but it can be like from your life. So as long as
Hmm.
you have something in there, it'll really help not only you get to the time that you need to be at, but also it will help you have a stronger speech. And so then you'll stand out a little bit more against everyone else that is speaking,
Hmm. Sweet.
if that makes sense.
No, yeah, for sure. Say I gotta definitely get like more stats or like examples. Yeah, like exactly like you said, for sure. And I think my present or like getting my slides on there will help too, kind of,
Yeah.
or a little bit once I get those.
If we want to talk about slides with this, the like image that you have in there, obviously that's going to be a slide. Um, but like, I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed to use like videos as long as they're like a short clip if you embed it. But I know that like in your introduction where like it's like, oh, you don't actually have to work. Did you just get someone to do your homework for you? I bet you get everything handed to you since you're an athlete. I know that there's a lot of like sketches. I'm sure Key and Peele has one. Like I know there's a lot of sketches out there. if you were able to embed a clip into your slides that's like asking that, it might also remove some of that issue of like it just sounding like you're just saying it, like
Hmm.
where it acts as the start of your speech. I don't know if we're allowed to do that. You could always use it as like an audio file rather than a video. Um, but I think that would be a really interesting addition to your slides that no one else would really have.
Yeah, that would be. No, you talk like kind of like of like someone else saying like that stuff. Okay.
Mhm. Like I don't know if you know of any sketches. I know I've seen some. I just like can't think of one off the top of my
Oh
head.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure
I
there's
know
definitely some
SNL
out
has
there.
one,
Hmm.
but if you were able to start it with something like that, it would start out showing kind of that frustration that you have, um, in a really clear way, so that even if like you go up there and you start your speech and you do like the, oh, you don't actually have to do your work, and it sounds less emotionally impactful, you'll still have that sort of proof at the end, or
Yeah.
that proof of like someone else saying it, there's a frustration there, if that makes sense. I kind of lost
No.
the
Yeah.
thing in there. I got a notification
No.
and
Yeah.
got distracted.
No. I understand what you mean. That would be a cool thing to like have, and it would take some time off too to like actually have something like that. That would be cool. Actually, I might actually look that stuff up. That'd be interesting.
I know,
But
like the one that like I always think about. There's a John Cena episode of SNL, and they're doing like science presentations, and there's like one clip in there where everyone is like presenting these incredible theses, and then John Cena holds up a banana and he says like, I was told to study bananas. So
yeah, just kind of yeah.
like the stereotype is there, it's in media, we've all experienced it in some way. So
Yeah. Ooh. Well, thank you.
yeah,
That was definitely helpful.
I hope any of
So,
it helps. I know like the speech is still a little short right now, so
no, everything you said literally is like exactly what I need to do. I think definitely uh the language, that's a big part, or
yeah,
at
I
least
know,
for now, like
yeah,
not
I
trying to
know
overuse a lot of the same stuff.
on the rubric she has like clarity and conciseness, and I don't know if that's something she'd mark off for, but like with repetitive language, a lot of people do think that that's A, not concise, and B, not clear.
Hmm.
So I don't want you to get marked off because you just keep saying like that long student, college, athlete,
Yeah.
all of those.
Yeah.
Um, I think that that's something, as long as you're not saying that and you're not referring to people as common rather than average,
Yeah.
um, I think that that'll really clear up that section so that you're not missing points there.
Hmm. Well, we're done early again.
Yeah.
Great.
It's like 15 minutes off.
I know. I'd say yeah, 15 minutes and should be good. Oops.
Oh, we never identified your goals or hopes for the session. There we go. Can you talk
Oh
about
yeah.
that for 15 minutes?
I'll try. I'll give a my goals and hopes for like my presentation Friday.
Sure.
Um, I guess to just give a good speech or TED talk. Um, definitely just try to get this point across and try to point out as many like facts and stuff about personal experiences about how these stereotypes aren't true.
Mhm.
I guess that's the biggest part. That's basically what the whole speech is about.
Destabilizing the stigma.
Yeah, just mostly about the stereotypes, and I guess more about just comparing and contrasting like
Mhm.
the average student from like a student athlete, and I guess just also informing and persuading kind of. I
Mhm.
guess it's supposed to be persuasive, but
Information can be persuasive.
yeah, yeah. So I guess just giving as much info about like what a student athlete, like what it's like, I guess.
Mhm.
That's those are my main goals. And to make my time limit.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my goals. Yeah. Oh,
Only took 2 minutes though, so
huh.
dang.
I know. We still got 12 minutes.
I think since we're close enough to class time, if I put on my like, because this is the one I have to submit. So if I put on it like, hey, we were doing this before class, we didn't realize how late it was. I think I
Oh
can get
yeah.
away with that.
Yeah. If that's fine with you. That's fine with me for sure.
Because then we don't have to just keep stalling for time.
No, yeah, I agree.
But
I have
I'm
to.
okay with leaving that disclaimer. I'll live. If she's like,
Okay.
I don't accept that, I'm like, well, I still got the coaching, so
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine with me. I'd say it's only 10 minutes. I mean,
yeah.
or you can, if you want, it's up to you. Like, literally, are you leaving right now? You could, like, put the, like, you could stop the video and just let it record for 10 more minutes,
I
honestly.
was
Or
like,
not.
no, I was just thinking like, because if she does watch the whole session and she's like,
Yeah.
then us stalling for time is just gonna look worse.
hmm I'm fine with ending it. I
But it
don't
is
care.
close enough to class time that I can just say
Yeah. No, for
to
sure.
go to class.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
All right. Thank
Good
you.
luck finishing your speech.
Thanks. All
See you
right.
in
Thank.
class.
Yep. Thanks.